Welcome sugar lovers. Muda kidogo tumekanyaga kando, but tumerudi sasa kwa ubaya. As mnaweza ona sasa kama kidogo tulikuwa jikoni tunapika. Microphone mali mbili pale. Pop background. Tuko nyumbani sasa.
Exactly.
We have a home.
Yeah. Hi sugar lovers. My name is the gatekeeper. But I think I should be dropping that name this year.
Amekuwa resident Kalahari.
Hapana, no. Kule imefika na January 2025, I should drop that name because I'm no longer a gatekeeper, I'm a participant.
I repeat, amekuwa tenant kwa nyumba yake.
Anyways, it's been a while. We have missed you guys, but the thing is the break wasn't just, you guys can see we have new mics, new location, new things coming up, but we're here now and we want to share the good news with you. We will now be back issuing sessions back to back over and over again, keeping you guys engaged, keeping you guys locking in and everything else. So please share, please follow, subscribe, send it to your best person, send it to your worst person,
comment, give us feedback. Raundi tuko ndani ka tampon. Sawa, tuko ndani ka intestines.
Exactly. Those are the kind of things that we were dealing with. I thought we were done. He actually had to go for a therapy session because of this.
Yes, physiotherapy.
Now the therapist needs therapy. Sorry.
Tuko sawa, tumewamiss lakini karibuni sana. At least sasa mwaka tunaanza saizi. Kuna makosa yalitendeka kidogo mahali ilibidi tuanze tena New Year celebrations jana. So sisi happy new year tunaanza saizi.
Happy New Year, guys.
A lot has happened, by the way. Hata leo nilikuwa tunapiga hesabu kuhusu what constitutes the efforts put in. Kama sisi unaona vile saizi tuangana hapa tumerudi kidogo, tunasemanga kazi imefanyika, lakini the work done behind the scenes, my friend.
Crazy.
Yeah?
Crazy. Me ukiniambia that I never knew how to set up a sound card.
Man.
I would tell you, hold my Bible.
Oh, sorry. Maybe hold my beer.
Hold my Bible. Because this thing, tell me why, it's picking one mic, it's not picking the other.
How? Spend like masaa. By the way, tuko hapa tunatafuta auditions za wasi wanaweza fanya kazi ya videographers. Alifika sasa bidi ma videographers na ma editors wa come through kwa sababu ile hustle. Coincidentally leo mimi na hold my beer na niko in black and I hold his Bible na niko in white. It has nothing to do with the angels and demons.
Yeah. We have a little bit of gray and of course some brown kiasi. but I'm telling you, we need someone who is going to be pressing that button, start and stop. Because kile iPhone imetuonyesha but
man. My friend, we have been through life.
iPhones are not to be relied on if you do not have a camera person at the back of your camera. But anyways, Dave was thinking this, and because you guys can share us with your comments. Tell us how this video looks like, if you like it, compared to the other videos that we've put out. We were looking to buy new gadgets. Dave is looking out to buy a new phone. Probably he was thinking about an S23 Ultra or an iPhone 13 Pro Max. Nyi advice, mwambie. Me honestly, my take is, when it comes to videography, iPhone is king. I don't use iPhone, but I can't hate.
Lakini kuna nyinyi watu wa Oppo. Nawajua nawaona pale kwa background mshaanza kutoa macho. Na Redmi. Nawajua. Yeah. Xiaomi. That thing with an X, whatever name it is.
It's Xiaomi.
I would never know that.
You need to.
I would never know that.
If our dreams are
the
to travel,
would slap me if they had me pronouncing that right.
But I mean, wataenda China kweli.
Juzi nilienda kuangalia, there's a vehicle inaitwa HYUNDAI.
Hyundai.
No, thank God. Usijaribu ujinga. It's a Hyundai. That's a Hyundai, not a Hyundai.
Forgive my French. Hapo sasa unajua mimi sijaenda group of school.
Please, polling sessions now are just fine.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it, guys. Just tell us in the comment section, what do you think we should go for? At least,
yes,
to improve our quality of videos. Anyways, let's kick it off with what happened this week, manze. Again, the shenanigans that we've already gotten used to, the politics in Kenya. We knew we never had an opposition. As young people, we knew, as Gen Zs, we were the opposition. And that's why we went to the streets and we claimed our portion. But I do believe that deep down, we believe that, hata kama tumeonyeshwa vumbi, even if our opposition, our ODM has, showed us shege in the past, they at least have some moral backbone to not do it again, especially because we've now come out with a new light. Kiboko ni ile. Those guys never change. You saw what they did yesterday. And
Sijahil, I am still here trying to understand how the one person people thought would come back now, Villa and AU would actually come back.
I never thought they'd come back. I just had some, I don't know even why I had some hope.
Alisema atauza mandazi Kibera. For some reason mandazi watu wa Kibera wameacha kukula.
Kibera hakulagi mandazi. Hakulagi mandazi.
Unataka kibanda ugali omena.
By the way, yeah.
Wait. Usijaribu na jina wa Kibera. Apparently hao ndio wananunua pizza mingi sana tao.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, apparently in town pizza not even on Ngong Road. CBD.
So how did you come to the conclusions that wametoka Kibera?
Please.
I buy pizza. Have you factored in my
yako account? Unajua yako siku ya maandamano tukonangi tao.
Okay, so tell us.
Sisi wanatumia pesa, but shida siku wanakujanga tao duka zikivunjwa naenda ngapa pizza mob home. I want to assume that they purchased it. I just don't know how they agreed to persuade these vendors. But I think my brothers.
Yeah.
Junk food tuache. Saizi sana nataka kwanza kuingia Kosewe pale Ronaldo's kidogo.
Yeah, but Dave, tell me, where do you think we're headed as in the political scene? Because honestly, we cannot assume and we cannot ignore. Leadership is key. In even as a young person. Let me put it down for the young person. You're there and you want to start your business, or you probably want to get into corporate. I don't know what your idea is, but you have to make money either way. You can either make money either way, whether you are in corporate or you have your own business. If you have your own business, you need to understand the law of the land, what entails when you register your own shop. If you want to go there, law around taxes, maybe you want to deal with products you're importing, what are the laws around importing and everything else? Do you know who makes these laws? Your favorite politicians in parliament.
Ignorance inafanya tuna assume as long as this guy can tweet and give us a few videos on TikTok, we are good.
Exactly. So you as a young person, you should be as much interested as we are when having this conversation about what is happening in our political scene. We never want someone who's sitting on the helm who doesn't, even if they have their own selfish interest, at least let it be aligned to what the country should go to. Right? So, Dave, this is the question that I had. What really happened yesterday?
A friend of mine, pardon her French, alisema we are annually fact. The U was silent. We were annually fact yesterday. And this is not news. I think tumefika mahali tuko. So, we are so anticipatory about what is going to happen next that we are no longer surprised when it happens. If this was the olden days, like this was last year before June, we would be in the streets today. But we have come to expect so little. Paka when it actually happens, we are not even surprised like, that was so low. No, we are not. And I think it's not just Kenya. We always say that there's an English saying that the country has gone to the dogs. Sisi hatukwenda to the dogs. Tumetoka kwa dogs, shakula, tumekubaki mifupa, tumeelekea choo. Sasa tunaenda kwa dumping site. Kwa sababu clearly there's nothing left for us. First, tulikuwa tunategemea pesa ya majuu. Then Trump happened. So now, by the lakini Trump, I know this might not go down well with a lot of people, but saizi tukiingia club, ukiingia social events, unaingia in peace. Hakuna ile jamaa na brag na wewe msa USA anakuambia anaongea ambia manzi yako baby girl come over. Niko na dollars.
Mbona wewe una hizo dollars?
Hapo sasa ndio tunafaa kuingia hapo kuongea. Not Burundi. Traore. President Traore made a comment I think earlier this week akasema a country whose politicians are richer than its businessmen is a country that is selling poverty. And I fully agree with him. Because the people, yes, like you said, the policies that actually govern the success of a people are made by the same people we elect to parliament. Forget the senators, the governors. The people that we elect to parliament, the members of parliament, and don't have to make decisions in their favor. But saizi, funny thing is, when the next election comes, all of us would want to vie. Why is none of us thinking of doing business? Because being a member of parliament or a senator or a governor, being a politician basically pays in Kenya more than anything else.
It does.
So, in my opinion, if the Gen Zs are not doing it, Gen Alphas must come up. But do you have the patience to wait another 10 years? Because Gen Alphas are probably just 12 years old.
I think we haven't really quite yet as a country figured out this whole idea of independence. We have never figured out this whole idea of independence since we got it. We rushed into this thing and we thought we wanted. And at some point you realize I thought this is what I wanted. And then you realize, I did not have even the capacity.
There's somewhere we always think we want marriage. I agree. I know exactly what that means. You think you're in the zone to be something.
And then you're there and you're like, oh shit. This is not exactly what I was looking forward to. And now because you cannot just get out the same way you leave your 12 girlfriends or you left your 12 exes.
Hey boss, Tuko January, 12 of them. Anyway, I digress.
I didn't have 12 exes. Tafadhali.
Yes, 12 is a wrong number. He meant 13.
Wait. So why are you speaking for me?
I apologize.
Do not take me there. Now, do you want us to get into that conversation? Because I have a lot of things to say.
Please, speak.
with the girls that we have currently. Anyways, all I'm saying is this. You get into the marriage sector and you realize, I just can't up and leave. No, this thing is legally binding. Right?
There are consequences.
So what do? Every single day you wing it. Every single day. You just wing it. I'm like, Leo Meisha, thank you. Tomorrow, wing it. That is what we are doing as a country. We are just winging it.
Exactly. Not just in relationships, but in politics, in governance, in investments. Man.
Before we were told because of the whole dissonance around information and we were not having a lot of information coming to us. We didn't have Twitter, we didn't have spaces, we didn't have places where people would just talk freely. There's something that we had about the law. If I come and I steal from you and I rob you and I have evidence and everything else, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get locked up.
Yeah.
Because there is irrefutable evidence as what happened, right? Currently, I can kill you and I can walk scot-free.
Yes, because we have learned how to manipulate the system. It's not about the law anymore.
The thing is, it used to happen before. It used to happen before we know. Right now, you see that hopelessness that we have. That you're just like, oh, he went that low.
Okay.
We saw it coming.
Okay.
Okay, sawa. We saw it coming. There's that air of like, I don't care attitude. Nonchalancy that Kenyans were starting to adopt. And if people in the leadership space do not take this as an alarming thing, which I don't think they will. Those guys, they won't. I mean, you see, all our young thugs, they're already infused in all these political clubs, as I can call them. They already joined these political clubs. The people who probably maybe you thought, okay, Sawa, this is a voice of change, right? How are you going to do it differently this time round?
First off, I think the first mistake that happened was having a revolution without a leader. This leaderless, tribeless notion that we put out last year in June was probably the beginning of a downfall. Because the perceived leaders, I repeat, perceived leaders, ended up cutting deals. Okay?
Yep.
But if there was actually a leader that was actually appointed based on what their principles were, and they knew exactly what they're getting out of this revolution, then it would actually give them a reason to say yes or no to things. And this would be something you could hold accountable. Right now, everybody goes back and says, mimi sikuchaguliwa kuwa leader. Kwa hivyo, msiniambie chochote.
Tafadhali.
Mimi nifanye kama mimi.
Oh my God. And the way with all
you
that.
know how fucked up that is?
That's quite messed up. We thought that was our bargaining chip. The fact that we did not have anyone that we say we are attributing the responsibility of what we're doing to this person.
That now you cannot buy an individual.
And then that person has to accept. Aseme sawa. Guys, this is how we are going to run these things. If we run on a roadblock, we know that there's someone we can turn to and aseme, okay, guys, this is what happened. This is how we're setting it up. But people are so afraid. People are so... Let me tell you the reason why we were leaderless and tribeless. It's because it would have been easy to snuff the movement out.
Made sense.
Made sense, yes. It would have been... Either way, we were
leaderless. I think I agree. Kwamba, I understand why the fear was there. Because it was, if you put your head out, they say the straighteners are the ones to be hammered first. So the moment you put your head up, unasema, I am the leader to this group, whether consensually or by choice, itakuwa ni kwamba kichwa yako ni kwa kwanza gongo.
That's true. And
considering they were carrying every Tom, Dick and Harry from the streets, it was very easy to point out and say, that's the gatekeeper. Huyo ndio anarun your group.
Huyo mshike. Huyo angeabductiwa ile mambo angefanyiwa kule. Hangewahi recover venye angerudi.
Hata kupata mtu kwa quarry. They won't find you in a quarry. Will find body parts of you in a dog's mouth.
They might not even kill you, to be honest. They might not because they know that if we... Same reason they never decided to wipe out Rao. Yeah?
Exactly.
They might not even take you out. But the things that they are going to do to you at that point, you will sit down every single minute of your life, rethink, is this what I actually want?
They would humiliate you to your core.
It takes, oh my God.
No, that much I agree. I think sometimes it's just painful to talk about politics in Kenya. As it is right now, we try to avoid it. Somebody made a job offer the other day. And the funny thing is, you know, when you apply for a job and they tell you, please send us your current payslip so that we would consider what happens. And then the guy goes and comes back to me and tells me, I don't know why I even sent, because I was curious. But akaniambia ati, I noticed that your country pays you, but the amount of money deducted by taxes or the government takes is about 38 to 40%.
That's correct, 40%.
Yes.
Actually 40%.
And then this guy goes and tells me, what if I hire you as a consultant? Therefore, you don't have to pay all these taxes. So what you do is do a withholding tax. Which end of day, utalipa 25% of your pay. So you're actually saving 15% of the money that they pay. Akwambia na kuongeza mshahara. Your gross stays as you are now, but you actually get almost 15% increment to your pay by him not doing anything, but just putting you as a consultant. Do you know how fucked up that?
Wow.
This guy hajafanya. He's not making any loss. He's not. Si kama ile transfer window ya Arsenal tunasema ti player ametoka hapa na 70 million anaenda kule 110. Huyu jamaa ametoka 70 na kulipa 70 bado, lakini taxes zako ndo tunapunguza. For a minute I thought about it. For a minute nikapaka nikajiambia, by the way, I could be a consultant. Kidogo niache kazi kwa sababu
that is so messed up. But that guy is smart. Hats off.
Very smart. And do you know how many people anaweza kuwa approached by now? Because it's not a small company offering that option.
It's not a small company.
It's not a small company. These are globally known, and it has been there for the last 100 years.
I think the mistake was you sending the payslip.
Man, nikaanza kujiuliza maswali bana, like I should have doctored my payslip or something.
Yep. That was a mistake. Send the payslip.
I wasn't interested in the job. I was really unaangalia tu if you're still marketable out here. You see, like the moments when you're in a relationship, and your girlfriend is taking you for granted, and like, you go out there,
I don't know why we keep getting back into this relationship.
No, nataka ufungwe roho. Hii Januari imekupeleka mbaya.
Continue, my brother, continue.
So it's like you really don't want to leave, but you just want to see, are you still marketable?
Yeah.
So I gave them the option of, well, let me see what you guys can do. And this guy tell you clearly, like, yeah, we have a way of making you get more money. They didn't tell me that we're not adding you more money on your pay. They just told me, we could actually make sure you get your take home is better. And as an employee, the first thing you think of is your take home. Forget sijui ulikatwa NSSF, sijui ulikatwa SHA yenye na kulipa 104 billion from. That is not important. What do I actually carry to my house? This guy tells you, by the way, hii pesa unabeba, we can improve it by 15%. Unakaa chini, unaimagine kwamba the company you work for, annual increment would range between 3% to 7%. If you're the best idiot that is probably the lowest earning, would have around 10% of your pay increment, annual increment. But then after that, it will drop to about 3 to 7%. This guy is about to add you 15% for your probation period, by the way. Probation at 3 months, alafu mreview pay yako. Because your system of government alone is fucking you more than he could even try to fuck you up. When I say that employment is like a hamster wheel. You'll never go anywhere, but they just give you enough for you to keep wanting to come back. Yeah. If this guy is willing to kuambia anakupatia mpaka loopholes where your pay slip is as loopholes so that he can keep you now.
That's the current state of situations that we have. And probably you'd ask the question, what Dave has just said has made me think. I know so little about what is actually happening in my country. Even if I step up, and trust you me, I can be a leader if I want to. I think I have the innate ability to be a leader. But the fact that I'm so clueless about the engine that this country runs on makes me even doubt my capacity to lead. I usually advocate for, if you're going to go to do something, do it to the best of your ability. And if the best of my ability demands that I have knowledge about it, trust me, I'd gather that knowledge first. And I think that's why a lot of young people or a lot of people who have leadership in them, they wait for so long before they come up. And when they come up, you find them talking about issues, deep systematic issues that is ailing our country. And you're like, it must have taken you so long to gather up that data.
Yes, definitely.
And those are the kind of people that we want. We just don't want anybody to rise up and just say, okay, anyways, guys, you should vote for me. You know why? I'm young. I got this.
Election by election, tuache. Take note of what I'm saying. Election by election. Just because somebody had on akafeel kama he was the strongest at that particular point. And then you all feel like because amesimama ni yeye anaweza, that is where we start going wrong. Because when they actually walk in, I remember the case of when the government had the coalition thing before this whole Prime Minister Baba thing. There were members of ODM that were given ministerial positions, CS positions, including treasury. And you remember a week before that, these guys were like, no, the measures being taken by the government were punitive, therefore we should correct this. And then they actually got the docket of finance. And now they're the very first people driving the same idea of we need to increase our taxes because we need to pay. And you ask yourself, so meaning when you're talking from a point of lack of knowledge, like completely clueless person, and you're hoping to give us answers off the sleeves. So now you're here, you're getting the documentation of proof of what is actually required for you to do your job, and then you give us an about turn. Like, okay, sorry, 25% tax, not good enough. 40. At least back then, we kept waiting for 15th of every month to get a reduction in fuel prices.
I agree.
It's been 3 months. We haven't seen a single drop in fuel prices. So yes, this notion that anybody could lead just because they're young or anybody could lead just because they're in the streets does not necessarily need to fly every time this happens.
I think before we get someone who could actually turn the wheels around, they need to have something that is irrefutable. A secret hand that when they reveal it like this, it's going to mess a lot of the deep state that we have. Exactly. It's going to mess up a lot of the deep state that we have. So they have no other option but to accept whatever this guy is bringing to the table. And that guy better be good and better be moral. But those are the two words that you can never mix in a political thing.
That's an oxymoron.
It's a paradox.
Who says it's like a melodrama whereby you're expecting to see good and you're laughing at the same time? See tears and laugh at the same time. You do not expect a good politician.
I don't think it will happen in our time.
I'm optimistic.
But I'm willing to bet
if you live to be 900 years,
that
it's good.
No. That it's going to start something. There's a chain reaction that's going to begin. There's a spark that's going to be initiated in our time. And when people get to a point where they are now willing to not keep up with the situation that they're living in, they're going to say, hey, by the way, that guy, or back in the day, this generation that came out and they did this, and we're actually tired, we want to follow that path. We're going to be an inspiration to it. But to see that all these changes that we're looking for a debtless country, we're looking for a country where the law is respected, we're looking for a country where leaders are chosen because of merit and not just because of capacity in terms of pocket. That's a country I'm looking forward to. But I am quite sure that because of how deep-rooted the messed up system is, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight.
Definitely.
Never going to happen. Anyways.
But it's not all gloom, by the way.
It's not all gloom.
It's not all gloom. So a few things I am happy to say are... when I find them, I'll tell you. To say that there's something that is positive about the government right now is very hard. And you know how bad that is? Older governments, I just start noticing some things. Older governments used to steal from you, but give you something in return. Just like the USA thing. You see, the USA thing, we feel the pain of it being withdrawn as a country, as a people. Because you now started seeing the impact it has on individuals and in groups. So communities that were benefiting from the food program, from the medicine, from the community awareness, are now missing those things and we regret. But the people that withdrew it, when Trump withdrew it, it was purely because he noticed that I am giving 100 million for a project, but only 2 million is actually used for the project. 98 million is actually pilfered.
Yeah.
So to him, it makes sense that I am saving my money. I'm saving 98 million of my money. But we are complaining that Trump is being bad because we are missing the 2 million. Forgetting that there's actually a possibility of us actually getting 90 million instead of the 2 that we were previously getting.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of good, bad news that you want to hear. Like, we are missing something because we could get better.
And we need to all stop this culture of hate. To be honest, we need to stop all this culture of hate because, to be honest, when someone is trying to do the right thing, if we cannot speak good about it, shut up.
Yeah, Mama said.
Keep quiet.
Mama said, if you have nothing nice to say,
keep quiet.
Say nothing.
Keep quiet. That's the wisest decision you'll ever make today. If you do not have something good to say to a person, just keep quiet for at least 24. But I was having an altercation with a friend of mine. January and February hasn't been quite well. My relationships haven't been working. But I've been having quite a back and forth with a friend of mine over and over again. And then I told them they wanted to make a decision that was going to impact both of us.
Okay.
In a negative way.
Okay.
So I had the equipment and they wanted to take it, right?
Okay.
Just because they were angry about something. I told them this. Because all the words that you've said were very hurtful, I'm just going to take that back. And I'm going to say that I'm not going to factor that in because you're angry. But this decision that you're about to make is based out of anger. Mm-hmm. I know that I have your stuff and I need to give it to you at a particular time which we had agreed prior, right? Yes. But now you want to come against that agreement because why? You're now angry and you don't feel like I'm vibing with you anymore. I agree. I can give it to you right now. But because I want this friendship to continue at some point, even beyond this, I'm going to give you 24 hours. I need you to chill. Chill for 24. Don't talk to me for 24 hours. I'm going to come to you tomorrow at this time and I'm going to ask you, do you still want your laptop? Mm-hmm. Do you still want your headphones? Do you still want your this and this and this? And surprisingly, the next day they were like, I'm sorry, I overreacted. So that's the case with us. When you see Trump doing whatever he's doing in his own country, no one has mandated you to have an opinion about it.
True.
If you can't say anything good about it, as a matter of fact, you don't even know what's happening in that country. Just keep quiet.
What did Kamwana say, by the way? Kamwana said, you do not pay taxes in the US. You have no right to dictate how they spend their money. So unless you're building whatever they're doing, then shut up.
I mean, it talks so much. I know that there are so many people who had to lose their jobs. It's quite sad for that fact. I've been in that situation before where I was earning a certain amount of money and then suddenly it's no longer there. I've had to restructure and think around it.
Yeah.
But when you come to the real core issues of what really happened, this is not money that, if you're in your right mind and if you think future like, you know that this money at some point it might be pulled back. You might get angry, you might, speak it out correctly, go see your therapist and talk about it, correct? But you do not have to mandate someone to keep, dishing out their money to pay you just because your life has become a little bit harder. It talks to us as a country to open our eyes to see how our economy is doing. If you lose your job right now, Dave, are you able to go out there, start something by yourself, and see that it's able to cater food for your fundamental expenses?
Actually, that's the biggest fear that most people have, because either we have come to have a very expensive lifestyle, that for you to get something that would sustain you on the side becomes near impossible. Or we have just become completely entitled, that you think that you deserve everything that has been given to you.
It's entitlement, to be honest. Even for me, I've suffered from entitlement. To be honest,
We all have.
I think everybody has suffered from entitlement, where you feel like you deserve something that maybe you never even worked for, right? But at the end of the day, you need to know that life is about it's like yin and yang.
Yes.
It's not a must you have it. Right now, I might go back to my house and I might find it locked. Yes. I made a down payment and I also paid my rent this month. But if I find it locked, I look at the true meaning of life and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't even have that house to begin with. Nothing is written under my name.
Sure.
And because I've paid for it, doesn't mean I own it completely. It might be taken away from me, to be honest.
A very good lesson from a young man who just went through a phase.
It's not about going through a phase, my guy.
Just because ulipeleka mahali kwa kina dem haimaanishi dem ni wako.
Again, I'm not that grown. I'm not that grown, but this is the thing that I usually battle with every single time. Whenever I find friends who are like, you don't think too much into life. You live your life in a superficial type of way. When things happen, you crash out. There's a certain trend on TikTok. I like it so much. Okay. It's called crash out core.
Okay.
There's a crash out core. There's a hopelessness core. Just go and search those things. You see people when they're actually crashing out on life. And when you don't take time to reflect, and that's why mindfulness is very important. Mindfulness is the act where you go by yourself and you start asking yourself some fundamental questions about life, why you exist.
Your being, your full being.
Am I doing everything right? I mean, everything else is external. You going to your job today, earning that paycheck, sending money home, buying a couch like this in your place. I mean, those are all external issues. Internal issues is what drives you, what wakes you up tomorrow and say that if I sleep today and I don't wake up tomorrow, I will be proud of what I've been able to achieve, right? And a lot of people in my age gap, and apparently even in a higher age gap,
if you're talking to me, talk to me directly.
You guys don't think about those things as
don't
much.
Don't go around the corners.
You guys don't think. Everybody doesn't think about those things as much. And I might come out as boring when I talk about these issues. But let me tell you, when crisis hits, I can handle it so much better.
Definitely.
I handle it so much. Yes, when I'm talking about this thing, you're like, that's not necessary. I don't believe that you should take life that seriously. And I do agree, don't take life so seriously. Yeah, but take life with mindfulness. It's going to help you in a certain way, even how you end up managing your money. But then the other day I was having a talk.
Yeah,
with,
session by the way.
Yeah.
I missed it. It was a weekday, so it was crazy.
I know. You're welcome.
Wednesday is 7:30. We missed it. When's the next one?
You're welcome to the next one.
When's the next one?
I will let you know.
Please make it public so we can make an announcement.
Of course, I made it public.
But
okay,
so your own channel, so you have a platform now.
So I'll make it public to you guys. There's this club called Rotaract Club. We work with giving out the community, as well as growing each other professionally. If you know Rotaract Club, it's a global thing, right?
Ni kama Illuminati lakini ya watu wazuri.
You might actually think it's a cult, but it's not.
So they say, yes, we appreciate the feedback.
It's a cult.
So you are Rotaract.
Relax. It's a culture, not a cult. Thank you. Yeah, I'm a Rotaractor and I like it so much. So anyways, I was having a talk with my club, the Rotaract Club of the University of Nairobi, Lower Kabete campus, about changing their finances, right? It's a conversation that I think would have really made sense, really made sense for people who are out of campus. But I felt like equipping them with that knowledge right now, because eventually they are transitioning into corporate, into their own lives and everything else. How do you get to build wealth? And I'm talking about old money.
Yes.
I'm not talking about TikTok money.
No.
I'm not talking about Instagram money.
Not Forex money.
I'm not talking about G-Wagon flaunting on your Instagram. I'm not talking about Forex money. I'm not talking about
washing
carding
iPhones
money.
with your Hennessy.
I am not talking about washing your Samsung S20 whatever Ultra with a sync money. I'm not talking about flaunting money. I'm talking about the money that you have to get by being alone for so long.
Quiet money.
Maybe we should have that conversation at one point.
We should.
But this is the thing that stood out, that in every stage that I took them through, because there were 6 stages into everything.
Okay.
Which you had to go every single time. You had to go back, reiterate, because
yes,
finances are dynamic; they change all the time. But in every stage, there was an aspect of you have to be silent, you have to be alone, you have to cut back. I don't know if that makes sense, but the point is this: you know what you're doing.
Yes.
Whatever this step is going to happen, I might explain it to you what I'm doing right now, but it won't make sense to you.
Yeah, because
it makes sense to you because you don't know where I wanna go.
Process yako sikuwa.
You don't understand why I had to cut the subscription on Netflix.
True.
You don't understand why I actually had to tell you that I cannot take you out for the next 6 months.
Instead, you'd rather cook in.
I'd rather cook in. You have to understand why when I go out, I must make sure that I'm well fed. If I know that I'm going to get hungry at the end of the day, maybe buy pack lunch or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they look very drastic and dynamic when I could just get into a mall and, get a drink or so. And
sure.
They say life is for the living, right? But at the end of the day, there's a goal that I want to achieve. And that's how you get money to respect. You can get to a point where money respects you. And you don't have to be a millionaire.
Yeah. So I've had.
As a matter of fact, if you are earning a paycheck right now, there's a session I want to bring.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm really divulging. It's just that I'm just giving you the hints and the tea of how these things were happening back on Wednesday so that you don't miss the other one. I want to bring a session of how corporate jobs are actually gold mine. Even if the government takes 40% of it.
Okay. Say more.
And I've been reading a lot of books, man. I've been reading a lot of... I know.
Word of advice?
I've been reading...
You break up so you can start reading books and become wise.
Listen. About what he just said, let him explain.
No, he has broken up with his job.
I don't understand.
He broke up with his job.
Hey, Dave, I'm telling you, there's a different world out here when you seek to pursue knowledge that is not that is boring, that is quote unquote boring.
Mm-hmm.
There's a concept I came across called behavioral finance or something.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks about what were the impact and implications of our upbringing that makes us make decisions around how we spend our money. Do you know? Do you know how you grew up? And maybe this is common knowledge, but do you know how you grew up really influences you in how you're going to use it, spend your money?
Yeah, they say that it's
Even
culturally acquired.
when you're going to earn 1 million or 4 million and you think now I need to start investing, it's really hard to get out of that lock, right?
Yeah, it's near impossible.
Impossible. But these are the conversations I was having. I was even surprised, even on the 6-step plan, I was surprised. I surprised myself in a way to find out that you don't actually have to start earning a certain amount of money or a certain amount or a figure to start building wealth. You know, there are people who like wait to earn, I think, to have certain 100,000 shillings, 200,000 shillings somewhere, 1 million shillings somewhere. Ndio mtu amue to start investing and diversifying their portfolios.
True.
You actually don't need to do that. But if your mentality is, I need to get rich quick, I need to see why should I invest in a fund that earns me 10% every single year? I want something that gives me 1,000% today. So get into crypto. And crypto, I'm telling you for real, it will do you that. Or you get into forex and carding and everything else, every idea around money, you need to ask yourself, are you built to handle money around it? Right? But that's a conversation that I think we probably will have it another time. But yeah, the next one I'll make sure I invite
You're
you.
looking forward to get acquainted to that. I think among the hardest conversations around Konganazo is a pesa. Even friendships are broken because of money. So I know that this is not something that is light that you can cruise over lightly because I'm a man.
I'll tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
There's something called the ostrich effect.
Okay.
You've probably had it.
Burying your head.
You've probably had, yeah?
Yes.
Burying your head in the sand.
Yes.
And assuming everything will be fine or I'm safe now.
It will pass
There's
over.
also an ostrich effect when it comes to money.
Mm-hmm.
People never want to have that conversation. You think that looking at my bank account, I'll never look at my bank account after I spend a weekend of just raving and partying and spending money. I never want to look at my bank account. And you think that not looking, nothing will happen. As a matter of fact, not looking is worse. I'd rather you look,
position,
get shocked, absorb it, know that next time you're going to make the same bad decisions, but at least you'll make it with knowledge. This is exactly what's happening, right? So when you're not looking, there's absolutely a big problem. And that's what you're saying. People avoid the conversation of money. I'm quite curious, how many of you have an account of how you spent every single shilling that has come your way for the past 3 weeks? Every single shilling. When you look at your M-Pesa, you know that there's a day I received 100,000 or I received 5,000. But kwenda hapo chini, it's a downward spiral. I don't understand anymore.
Nitumia thao
kufanya nini. Nikatuma 20 bob pahali, 20 bob ilikuwa ya nini?
You can never, most of us don't.
A lot of people don't.
And you remember about 7-8 years back, that's how equity was robbed. Somebody found a way to take a shilling from your 1 bob from accounts across equity.
You know, I usually hear this thing as if it's a myth or an idea that someone is trying to plant in my head. It's actually happened.
A bob shilingi kwa kila account, and aka make in intervals mali ungefikiria, I think it was weekly or monthly. Do you know how many accounts equity holds?
I wonder.
So akitoa shilingi moja, like this is a money that una refresh account yako sasa pengine nime-refresh imekatwa na hiyo ku-refresh.
Ama unaona some sense hapo, unajua iko also gives you some sense, unasema hii ni transaction tu yenye nakupaga 38.4.
Bob. This guy left with about 200, I'm not sure about the number, it was about 220 million. Kwa kura I notice him exist. So do you know if this guy was just patient and quiet, angekula for 10 years without anybody noticing anaiba? 100 years maybe.
You see, that's the thing.
But you don't have to check those accounts. Nobody wants to look into money like that.
It's the ostrich effect.
Like, boss, mi nimelipa rent, nimelipa stima, niko na fare, nimekula. Sitaki kujua hiyo pesa ingine imeenda wapi.
But the thing is,
sherehe unapiga sherehe half ya salary lakini unataka kujua.
I don't want to tell you, I don't want to leave you with the ostrich effect alone.
Okay.
I want to leave you the reason as to why you're an ostrich.
Mm-hmm.
Not you as Dave, or not you as your viewers, but yeah, you guys are ostriches. There's something called decision fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
Decision fatigue is a psychological effect where as you continue going by towards your day, making decisions becomes blurry, becomes a difficult chore. So as you go on your day, the worst decisions you're going to make are going to be towards the tail end of your day, because you're tired, you're fatigued, you're just like, I've been making decisions all day. I don't want to do this anymore. So what do you default to? The easiest. So if you're going to the gym, you'll say, I'm staying in.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to cook, I'm eating out.
Take out.
If you were to record how you've spent your finances today,
nilianza 5,000 nibaki na
2,000. Hiyo pesa ya mwanaume huishia kwingi. That will be the statement that you make. Pesa ya mwanaume hupotelea kwingi. When I realized about this concept, I was like, every decision that I make that is integral and important, I need to make it in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came up with a list of everything that I need to do. Everything that I must do every single day. If it's working out, if it's recording my bills, if it's checking my account, everything, I do it in the early hours of the morning.
Yes.
If it's handling a certain show, or I make sure that even my work, I get done by 12, nimemaliza. Ikikuja afternoon, maybe I can hold a meeting or two. Actually, my meetings, I make sure I really want to defer them to the afternoon. Because important meetings, I make them in the morning. But these less important meetings where it's just, briefing and everything else, what is happening in the afternoon? Because decision fatigue will make you an ostrich. You will bury your head in the sand all the time.